Good morning to my fellow block members, the secretariat, and the technical personnel who prepared the documents for the goods and services. So this morning, May 7, 2025, the procurement of one goods and services with contract ID number 25 GBJ06. But before we start, may I request everyone to please stand for the occasion.
Loving Heavenly Father, we come to you this hour asking for your blessing and help as we are gathered together. We pray for guidance in the matters at hand and ask that you would clearly show us how to conduct our work with a spirit of joy and enthusiasm. Give us the desire to find ways to excel in our work. Help us to work together and encourage each other to excellence. We ask that we would challenge each other to reach higher and farther to be the best we can be. We ask this in the name of the Lord. Amen.
Please be seated. So once again, good morning to everyone, and also to our YouTube live viewers. We request the Secretariat to please post in our video stream the invited observers for today's procurement activity. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Our first official selected observer from the DPWH Nueva Vizcaya is the Chamber Real Estate and Builders Association, La Union Chapter. And for goods and services is the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry, or the PCC. And that's all, Mr. Chair, for our selection of official observers.
Thank you, Engineer Joseph Rigala, the OIC head of the procurement staff. So again, the Secretariat may request for the attendance if we have the quorum for today's. Okay, I'm sorry. Again, the Secretariat may request to please post in our video stream the invitation to our observers for today's procurement activity. Thank you.
Our official observers receive letters. First, our official observer is Sir Adelio Joven D. Oragas, the Auditor 4 of Auditing Leader of Commission on Audit. A letter dated April 30, 2025 was received by the COO. And our second observer is Eduardo L. Lamatri, the Chairman of Chamber Real Estate and Builders Association, La Union Chapter at San Fernando City, La Union. A letter dated April 30, 2025. Invitation to sit as observer was sent Wednesday, April 30, 2025 at 4:34 p.m. And our third observer is Consul E. Humina V. Mangio, the President of the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry, or the PCCI, from Addis City. A letter dated April 30, 2025. Invitation to sit as observer was sent Wednesday, April 30, 2025 at 4:35 in the afternoon. And that's all, Mr. Chair, for our official observers.
Okay, once again, thank you, Engineer Joseph Rigala, the head of the procurement staff. May I request now the attendance if we have for today's private conference. Thank you.
Everyone, I will now proceed with the roll call of attendance. The back members, Engineer Danilo A. Bernabet,
Present.
back chairperson. The back regular members, Ma'am Grace B. Sanchez,
Present.
Engineer Christopher M. Balasha,
Present.
and Engineer Harley Rex L. Lopez.
Present.
The back provisional members, Engineer Herbert M. Agudelo,
Present.
Engineer Leandre A. Lina,
Present.
and Engineer Noel P. Amador Jr.
Present.
The back secretariat, yours truly, Joseph P. Degan. The back secretariat members, Engineer Z. Delma C. Valdez,
Present.
Sir Belmar G. Garrido,
Present.
Gretchen R. Infanta, Sir Paul R. Domagas, and Ma'am Vivian Zenaida I. Bulan. And we have a representative from the end user, Ma'am Giselle O. Bazar. Therefore, Mr. Chair, majority of the tenants of our Vice Committee are present today. Therefore, Mr. Chair, we have a quorum.
Thank you, Engineer Joseph Minalan, the OIC head of the procurement staff. Since we have a quorum, the BAC chair now declares that the procurement activity this morning, particular credit conference for one goods and services, is now officially in order. But before we start, may I request the Secretariat to please play the video recorded, particularly on section 22 of the 2016 Revised Implementing Rules and Regulations and the latest GPPB issuances. Secretariat, please.
Section 22, Pre-bid Conference. Section 22.1, for contracts to be bid with an ABC of 1 million pesos or more, the BAC shall convene at least one pre-bid conference to clarify and or explain any of the requirements, terms, conditions, and specifications stipulated in the bidding documents. For contracts to be bid with an ABC of less than 1 million pesos, pre-bid conferences may be conducted at the discretion of the BAC. Subject to the approval of the BAC, a pre-bid conference may also be conducted upon written request of any prospective bidder. Section 22.2, the pre-bid conference shall be held at least 12 calendar days before the deadline for the submission and receipt of bids, but not earlier than 7 calendar days from the PhilJEP's posting. Section 22.3, the pre-bid conference shall discuss, clarify, and explain, among other things, eligibility requirements and the technical and financial components of the contract to be bid, including questions and clarifications raised by the prospective bidders before and during the pre-bid conference. Section 22.4, the minutes of the pre-bid conference shall be recorded and prepared not later than 5 calendar days after the pre-bid conference and shall be made available to prospective bidders not later than 5 days upon written request. Decisions of the BAC amending any provision of the bidding documents shall be issued in writing through a supplement or bid bulletin at least 7 calendar days before the deadline for the submission and receipt of bids. Section 22.5 supplemental / bid bulletin, section 22.5.1 request for clarifications on any part of the bidding documents or for an interpretation must be in writing and submitted to the BAC of the procuring entity concerned at least 10 calendar days before the deadline set for the submission and receipt of bids. Section 22.5.2, for purposes of clarifying or modifying any provision of the bidding documents, supplemental or bid bulletins may be issued upon the procuring entity's initiative at least 7 calendar days before the deadline for the submission and receipt of bids. Any modification to the bidding documents shall be identified as an amendment. Section 22.5.3, any supplemental / bid bulletin issued by the BAC shall also be posted in the PhilJEP's, the website of the procuring entity concerned, if available, and at any conspicuous place within the premises of the procuring entity. It shall be the responsibility of all those who have properly secured the bidding documents to require and secure supplemental or bid bulletins that may be issued by the BAC. However, bidders who have submitted bids before the issuance of the supplemental or bid bulletin must be informed and allowed to modify or withdraw their bids in accordance with Section 26 of the 2016 revised IRR of RA 9184.
Okay. Thank you, Secretariat. Allow me to read the agenda for the credit conference. Number one is the basic contract data. This will be discussed by Ms. Lucille Balcazar. Second agenda, questions, comment from leaders in request of back and other representative of the procurement entity. Third agenda, requirements of bidding documents to be discussed by Engineer Joseph Ligana. Fourth agenda, documents to be submitted by the bidder, including technical and financial proposals to be discussed by, we have also recorded for this particular agenda. Number five agenda, proposed amendment if there is any. Number six agenda, criteria and procedure for the preliminary examination of the bids, detailed evaluation of bids, post qualification award. This will be discussed through also recorded. And number seven, other matters and all announcement by the head of the procurement staff. And the last agenda is a summary of proceedings, including bid bulletin and our agenda to be issued this very statement. So, for the first agenda, which is the basic contract data, this will be discussed by Ms. Joselle Baltasar. Joselle, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning, everyone. Let us now proceed with the basic contract for goods and services, which is 25 GBJ06. The name of contract is Contract for Supply or Provision of Blended Diesel Fuel and Blended Gasoline and Lubricants for use of various service chemicals, heavy equipment, and transporters and generators set of the district, which is located at DPWH Nueva Vizcaya 2nd District Engineering Office, Manas, Lucas, Nueva Vizcaya, with an approved ABC or approved budget for the contract, 3,025,593.56. In the scope of works, supply or provision of blended diesel fuel, heated gasoline and lubricants, with a contract duration on a staggered basis or until source of fund to GAA and by 2025, and the date of meeting will be on May 27, 2025. For item number one, 40,000 liters diesel fuel. Item number two, 10,000 liters unleaded gasoline. Item number three, 60 liters semi-synthetic oil, 15W40. Item number four, 48 liters gear oil, 90. Item number five, 48 liters gear oil, 140. Item number six, for 60 liters coolant. Item number seven, 60 liters motor oil filling, and the last one, 48 liters tubing oil. That's all, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Joseph. Thank you, Joseph Baltasar. Can you read now for the second agenda? Do we have any comments, questions, or queries for this particular goods and services?
None, Mr. Chair.
There is none. So the number three agenda is the requirements of bidding documents. This will be discussed and presented by Engineer Joseph Ligana. Joseph, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. For the requirements of the bidding documents in the form of the data sheet, for ITV Clause 5.3, the bidder must have completed a single contract that is similar to this project, equivalent to at least 85% of the ABC. For this purpose, contract similar to the project shall be A. A similar contract refers to supply or provision of blended diesel fuel, unleaded gasoline, and lubricants. And B. Completed within 5 years prior to the deadline for resolution and receipt of fees. ITV Clause 7.1, subcontract fees not. For ITV Clause 12, the price of the goods shall be quoted in P or in province of Nueva Vizcaya for this project. The bidder shall bid on all items to be bid, price quoted shall include taxes. ITD clause 14.1, the bid security shall be in the form of a bid security declaration or any of the following forms and amounts. A, the amount of not less than 2% of ABC if bid security is in cash, cashier's or manager's check, bank draft or guarantee or irrevocable letter of credit. Or B, the amount of not less than 5% of ABC if bid security is insured to government. ID clause 19.3, the ABC is 3,025,593 pesos and 56 centavos. Any bid with a financial component exceeding the ABC shall not be accepted. ID clause 20.1, no other licenses and permits are required. ID clause 21.1, no additional contract documents are required. And that is all, Mr. Chair, for the requirements of the bidding documents.
Okay, thank you, Engineer Joseph Dimalan, the OIC Head of the Procurement Staff. We go now to agenda number 4, which is documents to be submitted by the bidder, including technical and financial proposals. For this particular agenda, we have an audio recorded. I request the Secretariat to please play the audio recorded for agenda number 4. Thank you.
Requirements for technical and financial documents, procurement for goods and services. 1. Technical component envelope. Class A documents. Legal documents. A. Valid field jobs registration certificate, platinum membership, all pages, in accordance with Section 8.5.2 of the IL. Technical documents. B. Statement of the prospective bidder of all its ongoing government and private contracts, including contracts awarded but not yet started, if any, whether similar or not similar in nature and complexity to the contract to be bid. And C. Statement of the bidder's single largest completed contract, or SLCC similar to the contract to be bid, except under conditions provided for in sections 23.4.1.3 and 23.4.2.4 of the 2016 revised IRR of RA number 9184 within the relevant period as provided in the bidding documents, and the original copy of bid security. If in the form of a surety bond, submit also a certification issued by the Insurance Commission, or original copy of notarized bid security declaration, and E. Conformity with the technical specifications, which may include production/delivery schedule, manpower requirements, and or after sales/parts, if applicable, and F. Original duly signed omnibus sworn statement or OSS, and if applicable, original notarized secretary certificate in case of a corporation, partnership, or cooperative, or original special power of attorney (SPA) of all members of the joint venture giving full power and authority to its officer to sign the OSS and to ask to represent the bidder. Financial documents. G. The prospective bidder's calculation of net financial contracting capacity, or NFCC, or a committed line of credit from a universal or commercial bank in lieu of its NFCC computation. Class B documents. H. If applicable, a duly signed joint venture agreement or JVA in case the joint venture is already in existence, or duly notarized statements from all the potential joint venture partners stating that they will enter into and abide by the provisions of the JVA in the instance that the bid is successful. 2. Financial component envelope. I. Original of duly signed and accomplished financial bid form, and J. Original of duly signed and accomplished price schedules. Other documentary requirements under RA number 9184 as applicable. K. Certification from the DTI if the bidder claims preference as a domestic bidder or domestic entity.
Okay, thank you, Secretariat. Do we have any questions, comments, or queries for the documents to be submitted by the bidder for their technical and financial proposals?
None, Mr. Chair.
There is none. So, since there are no comments or questions regarding the documents to be submitted, therefore, there will be no proposed amendments to the bid instruction or the documents to be submitted by the bidders. Therefore, no amendments to be issued for this particular contract. Let's go now to the sixth agenda. This is the criteria and procedure for the preliminary examination of the bids, detailed evaluation of bids, cost qualification, and award. In regards to this agenda, we have a motion recorded to be made by the Secretariat. Secretariat, please.
Detailed bid evaluation. For the procurement of goods, the purpose of bid evaluation is to determine the lowest calculated bid using the following steps. 1. The bank shall immediately conduct a detailed evaluation of all bids using non-discretionary criteria in considering the following. A. Completeness of the bid. Unless the instructions to bidders specifically allow partial bids, bids not addressing or providing all of the required items in the bidding documents, including, where applicable, bill of quantities, shall be considered non-responsive and, thus, automatically disqualified. In this regard, where a required item is provided but no price is indicated, the same shall be considered as non-responsive, but specifying a zero or dash for the said item would mean that it is being offered for free to the government, and B. Arithmetical corrections. Correct computational errors and omissions to enable proper comparison of all eligible bids. It may also consider bid modifications if expressly allowed in the bidding documents. Any adjustment shall be calculated in monetary terms to determine the calculated prices. 2. The bank shall evaluate all bids on an equal footing to ensure fair and competitive bid comparison. For this purpose, all bidders shall be required to include the cost of all taxes, such as, but not limited to, value-added tax or VAT, income tax, local taxes, and other fiscal levies and duties which shall be itemized in the bid form and reflected in the detailed estimates. Such bids, including said taxes, shall be the basis for bid evaluation and comparison. 3. In case of discrepancies between A. Bid prices in figures and in words, the latter shall prevail. B. Total price of the item and unit price of the item as extended or multiplied by the quantity of that item, the latter shall prevail. C. Stated total price and the actual sum of prices of component items, the latter shall prevail. D. Unit cost in the detailed estimate and unit cost in the bill of quantities, the latter shall prevail. 4. Bids shall then be ranked in the ascending order of their total calculated bid prices, as evaluated and corrected for computational errors and other bid modifications, to identify the lowest calculated bid. Total calculated bid prices, as evaluated and corrected for computational errors and other bid modifications, which exceed the ABC shall be disqualified.
Post-qualification. Objective and process of post-qualification. 1. The lowest calculated bid shall undergo post-qualification to determine whether the bidder concerned complies with and is responsive to all the requirements and conditions as specified in the bidding documents. 2. Within 5 calendar days from receipt by the bidder of the notice from the Bids and Awards Committee that the bidder has the lowest calculated bid, the bidder shall submit to the Bids and Awards Committee its latest income and business tax returns and other appropriate licenses and permits required by law and stated in the bidding documents. Failure to submit any of the post-qualification requirements on time or a finding against the veracity thereof shall disqualify the bidder for award, provided that in the event that a finding against the veracity of any of the documents submitted is made, it shall cause the forfeiture of the bid security in accordance with Section 69 of the 2016 Revised Implementing Rules and Regulations, IRR, of Republic Act Number 9184. 3. The post-qualification shall verify, validate, and ascertain the veracity, authenticity, and validity of all the Class A eligibility documents supporting the PhilJEP Certificate of Registration and Membership in accordance with Section 8.5.2 of the 2016 Revised IRR of RA Number 9184, and all the other statements made and documents submitted by the bidder with the lowest calculated bid using non-discretionary criteria, as stated in the bidding documents. These criteria shall consider, but shall not be limited to, the following. A. Legal requirements. To verify, validate, and ascertain licenses, certificates, permits, and agreements submitted by the bidder, and the fact that it is not included in any blacklist as provided in Section 25.3 of the 2016 Revised IRR of RA Number 9184. For this purpose, the GPPB shall maintain a consolidated file of all blacklisted suppliers, contractors, and consultants. B. Technical requirements. To determine compliance of the goods offered with the requirements specified in the bidding documents, including, where applicable, I. Verification and/or inspection and testing of the goods/product, after sales and/or maintenance capabilities in applicable cases, as well as checking the following. A. Delaying the partial delivery of goods amounting to 10% of the contract price in its ongoing government and private contracts. B. If any of these contracts shows the bidder's failure to deliver or perform any or all the goods or services within the period specified in the contract or within any extension thereof granted by the procuring entity pursuant to a request made by the supplier prior to the delay, and such failure amounts to at least 10% of the contract price. C. Unsatisfactory performance of the supplier's obligations as per contract terms and conditions at the time of inspection. If the BAP verifies any of these deficiencies to be due to the bidder's fault or negligence, the BAP shall disqualify the bidder from the award or the procurement of goods. 2. Ascertainment of the authenticity of the bid security and its correctness as to type, amount, form, and wording, and validity period, as required in the bidding documents. C. Financial requirements. To verify, validate, and ascertain the bid price proposal of the bidder and, whenever applicable, the required committed line of credit in the amount specified and over the period stipulated in the bidding documents or the bidder's NFCC to ensure that the bidder can sustain the operating cash flow of the transaction. The determination of the lowest calculated and responsive bid, or LCRB, is guided by sections 34.4 to 34.8 of the 2016 Revised IRR of RA Number 9184. The Bids and Awards Committee will recommend to the HOPE the award of contract to the bidder with the LCRB in accordance with Section 37 of the 2016 Revised IRR of RA Number 9184, which outlines the procedures for the notice and execution of award.
Thank you, Secretariat. We go now to agenda number 7, which is other matters and all announcement. Secretariat, do we have any announcement to be issued this morning?
Yes, Mr. Chair, we have a public activity open of bids tomorrow, May 8, 2025 at 9 a.m. here in conference room of DPWH Nueva Vizcaya Section for one goods and services project with contract ID number 65BBJ04. And our next procurement activity open of bids on May 27, 2025 at 9 a.m. here in conference room of DPWH Nueva Vizcaya Second DEO for one goods and services project with contract ID number 35GBJ06. And that's all for now, Mr. Chair, for the announcement or reminders.
Thank you, Engineer Joseph Pinala. We go now to the last agenda, which is the summary of proceedings, including the bulletin to be issued. Since we have already discussed agenda 1 to 7, and no questions, comments, or queries, and no amendments to the reading documents, therefore there will be no bid bulletin or agenda to be issued. So my fellow board members, do you have any announcement before we adjourn? Do I hear a motion for adjournment?
Mr. Chair, we move to the adjournment of this program.
Any second the motion? It has been moved and seconded that the procurement activity this morning, which is the private contest for contract ID number 25GBJ06, is now officially adjourned. Thank you everyone, and thank you to our YouTube Live viewers. Muli, magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. Thank you.